Alright, triangle ABC has a right angle, angle ABC, and measure of angle BCA is equal to 45 degrees. Therefore, the measure of angle CAB equals blank degrees. Okay, well if we're not 100% sure, you could click on key terms and click, this is the sum of all of the angles in a triangle. So I was just going to look to see if there was a definition of a triangle, which they don't have. However, the very first concept right here is triangle sum theorem. So it says all of the interior angles are inside the polygon, and that's what we proved to make it 180 degrees. So anyways, that's just background knowledge. So if you have a right angle right here, we know that right angles are 90 degrees. We know that all of these angles, A, B, and C, are adding up to 180 degrees. So we can actually set up a statement that says, so we have angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 degrees. We do know that we don't know what angle A is, so that stays the same. We know that angle B is 90 since it's a right angle, and we know that angle C is 45 degrees. So you can substitute that, add them together, and that's not angle. So 90 plus 45 is 135. So angle A plus 135 has to equal 180. So then you can subtract 135 from both sides. And angle A is equal to, well, 135 minus 135 is 0. So that's why we have technically plus 0 right there, and in math we often do not write it because adding 0 doesn't change the value. So that's why that is just an empty space. So 180 minus 135 though is 45 degrees. So angle A is 45 degrees. One way you could do this in a calculator, this is the Symbol Lab calculator off of the website resources. You could just do 180, subtract the 90 degrees, and then subtract the 45. And notice that it gives you the answer right there. Now some of you might be thinking like, well, where did this minus 90 minus 45 come? And where does the 180 come from? 180 comes from the total inside the triangle. I've got to subtract the 90, and I've got to then subtract 45 degrees so that I can find out what this remaining angle would be. So that's another way you could do it. You could also still do 90 plus 45. That gives you 135, and then you could remember that you had 180 minus 135. And that's another way to do it. Either way, you end up with 45 degrees.